Good afternoon. My name is Rick Rakowskis, and you are listening to Wildfire Daily, the daily podcast that describes the current events of wildfire and all things related. Today is Friday, September 4th, 2020, and this is a Division Zulu report. We'd like to talk about the red flag warnings that we are expecting to unfold in the coming days for California and the Great Basin. Labor Day weekend it is, and we are already at a national preparedness level of 5. If we scroll down on the SIT report, those of you who'd like to follow along, it is at nifc.gov, nifc.gov, or if you just Google SIT, S-I-T, report, it should pop up. Northern California area is PL5. We have uncontained large fires at 27. 3 of those uncontained large fires, we have the SCU Lightning Complex Fire, the LCU Lightning Complex Fire, and the August Complex Fire have taken seats as the second, third, and fourth place for California's 20 largest wildfires in history, only to be overshadowed by the Mendocino Fire, which occurred in 2018. It was 459,000 acres and 280 structures lost, 1 fatality. That occurred July 2018 through September 2018. So the next spot is the SCU Lightning Complex, and we're looking at 369,000 acres, 624. We have 131 lost structures there, and currently 0 fatalities. The LNU Lightning Complex Fire, 375,000 acres, 209. We have 1,491 structures lost and 5 fatalities already on this fire. And the August Complex Fire, 298,269 acres and 10 structures lost with 1 fatality. So it's already shaping up to be an incredibly bad fire season for California as far as damage, fatalities, and numbers go. And here we are with excessive heat warnings, valid Saturday 11 a.m. through Monday at 9 p.m. Interior locations, we're looking at 95 to 110 degrees, maximums of 115. The Bay Area, 85 to 95 degrees, and the coasts, 70 to 85. So, being cautious and being aware that we're already in the depths of a fire season that's shaping up to be one for the record books, with excessive hot and dry conditions and a forecast into the fall that's looking to line up with La Nina conditions, which mean more hot and dry conditions, increased drought, and impacts on the fall fire season for California. So for all us listeners out there, being conscientious and staying safe with any sort of ignition source, whether it's barbecues or cigarettes, power tools, vehicles, things of that nature. Any one less ignition source just means that we're going to better protect our communities and prevent these sorts of catastrophic wildfires to the best of our ability. I know that these were all naturally caused fires. They were due to a large lightning bust that California received about 2 weeks ago from some tropical moisture that moved up from Mexico. Right now, the lightning and precip is looking like there's no storms moving up the coast. So that's a good thing because we've already got enough on our hands to deal with. Let's move on to the smoke impacts. If any of you folks are listening and live close proximity to the Central Coast, the Bay Area, even Los Angeles, the last few weeks have been horrendous for air quality and smoke. Looking at satellite images, from September 2nd, 2020 on SciTech Daily, the amount of smoke that's pushing off of these coastal fires and moving out over the Pacific is very impressive, to say the least. And it's definitely impacting my community. I live on the central coast of California, and we saw several days and weeks of incredibly smoky conditions, and I only expect the next few days leading up into the next week to continue. The national outlook for September, October, November, and December, like I said earlier, is really lining up to be busy, especially September and October for most of the state of California. And then it kind of shifts over to the south, southwest, Texas, Louisiana, Alabama even, and into the Carolinas and North Florida Panhandle area. So we're not out of the woods yet. That is for certain. I think that it's going to shape up to be an incredible fire season just yet, especially in California. Which leads us to the next topic. There was an New York Times article written on September 2nd. And what is happening is that these years of huge fires across the state are incurring enormous losses for insurance companies. And unfortunately, insurance companies are revoking or just all up canceling policies on some homeowners. And the state temporarily banned insurers from doing this. There was nearly 800,000 homes in near risky parts of the state. However, that ban is about to expire and it can't be renewed. And a recent plan to deal with the problem fell apart in a clash between insurers and consumer advocates, the article states. So I can sympathize with this, as an agency person that has spent my entire career working fires in the wildland urban interface, wondering to myself, why people put their houses there. And also as a civilian who, suffered a loss of a home in 2018 during the Wildfire, it's, I can understand both sides of a very challenging avenue to navigate. And we are in challenging times. The waters that we are navigating are very rough when it comes to all sorts of things. 2020 has shaped up to be the craziest year of all time in my experience, and it's really only getting worse when it comes to things like this because of the financial burdens that families are already experiencing. You impact massive wildfires and the loss of some people's only security net, their homes, and it becomes really, really challenging. Because of this, we're talking about the insurance companies revoking policies or not insuring homeowners. When it comes time to purchase a new home or sell homes that are in risky areas, it's going to really impact the prices because mortgage companies are not going to be willing to put up the funding to new buyers that are looking to purchase homes if they can't insure them. So that's going to really impact the price of the homes over time. But it's going to impact people moving into these areas. So one may say that that's a good thing. One may say that it's a challenge. It's debatable, but it's happening, and it's going to be a continuing issue through the future. I'd like to continue on a little bit with some news that Israel and Canada are both sending groups of firefighters to help fight fires in California. That's a great thing. We have, as an agency, or U.S. has sent firefighters to both Israel and to Canada during incredibly challenging fire seasons for those countries, and it's nice to see that the favor is reciprocated. We need the best people that we can on these incidents to come together and help manage these fires. They're incredibly challenging and dynamic situations that require immense amounts of manpower and resources, and it really, really helps when we get a little bit of assistance from other places to backfill, because let's face it, this is a really challenging job. It's incredibly dangerous. It's tiring. Keeps people away from their friends and family for extended periods of time, and it's a marathon, that's for sure. And we're really just in the first few innings of this 9-inning game, it sounds like, from the forecasts that they're planning for the rest of the fall of 2020. So the fatigue will certainly start to set in, and fatigue can be really dangerous. Unfortunately, 2020 has already proven to be a very, very deadly year for fire aviation, which hits close to home for me as a former fire aviator. I know that we've lost several aircraft just in the last few months alone. Reading through some of these articles, Montana pilot battling Oregon wildfire dies in helicopter crash. That was August 26th. On August 20th, chopper pilot killed in crash battling California wildfire. And then in Arizona on July 8th, pilot died in a helicopter crash working a fire there. So that's just 3 examples of many for 2020, which has been a very, very challenging year for fire aviation. And my heart goes out to everybody that's affected by these things that happen. Some of these people I know personally and can call them friends, and it's not easy. So let's just take a moment of silence and thank everybody that's working these fires, and keep them in our hearts, and make sure that we're doing our best on the civilian side of things to prevent and protect and make sure that these folks that are putting their lives in harm's way can go home safely to their loved ones at the end of a good long fire season. So that about wraps it up. Again, you are listening to the Wildfire Daily Report. My name is Rick, and I'm going to continue with these reports as news comes out. I wanted to keep it into just an audio format for now, but if you have any comments, please put them in the comment section below. Let me know if you'd like to see screen type video, or if just having these scrolling pictures works well for you folks. I really appreciate you listening. If you would take the time to like and subscribe, that would really help me out. And I'm going to do my best to try and disseminate information as much as possible to help take a complex, dynamic situation that is wildfire and try and refine it a little bit, and just make it easier for everybody to comprehend. This is the inaugural episode. This is episode 001. So thank you for listening to my first episode. And hopefully there are many more with good insights and ideas and ways through these challenges. So for now, I'm going to end it at that. Thank you again. I appreciate your time, and we will see you at the next episode.